hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient and soon it can all be worth it, all the searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous, is the world honestly burning? That's all I'm learning. Hope that we can make a turn and start reversing all our minds and put the work in. We got some work, man. I started to do, gotta get through. I started to do, gotta get through. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tie up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, we made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass halfway. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the red inside a payphone, just wanna break, no. I'm not gonna give in, take a last shot, Michael J. Win. No, I'm not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost when thoughts pull you in. I miss the old you, we died with a purpose. All the energy around me felt nervous, scared I would pop off fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had a given art, but now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card. A royal flush of bluff, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at. I'ma fight like I'm mad, I'ma be something that they can never be me. Nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything while they stay salty. I started to do, gotta get through. I started to do, gotta get through. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause
Welcome back to your favorite channel. It's your boy PBK9s. Welcome back to your favorite channel. It's your boy PBK9s. Giving it to you the way I always do, fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't, man. Big shout out to all the brothers and sisters down in the chat. Everybody that's watching the video and everybody that's taking care of them animals across the world. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Mr. 216? Big salute to Mr. 216 dropping in the building before the video started. Show enough what's going on. What's going on with you, Kobe Sayan? What's going on with you, my brother? Big salute all the dog lovers out there. Like I said, man, got a little bit of breaking news. CNN satellite from outer space gave it to me real quick, so I had to throw it up on here, you know, as well. And we're gonna touch up on supplements and going natural, and we're gonna touch up on some of them yellow dogs and stuff like that as well. You know, so that's gonna be a few of the things we're gonna be talking about. Um, First thing to start this thing off, man, I want to touch up on this right here. You know, it was a fella from around my way. He just got life with no parole for armed robbery. You know, and a lot of folk will say that's rather harsh for that crime. You know, and I would say that as as well. But at the same time, what we have to look at, in this particular situation, you know, they gave him the repeat offender um, you know, act, habitual offender act or something like that, right? So the thing is, it's not even. the habitual offender act that I'm looking at, right? You know, this dude got life with no parole for $200. It's not their fault that he only tried to rob for $200. It just shows you what stupidity gets you. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we don't want that for nobody. We don't want that for nobody. But a lot of people failing to realize what the person was feeling like that got robbed. And see, this how they got robbed. He went up on somebody, a female, from what I read, and made her send $200 to his girlfriend off her cash app. She don't got no money on her. So go on your cash app and send my old lady $200 right now. And that got him life with no parole. You know what I'm saying? How stupid is that? You got a lifetime to sit here and think about $200. None of that money is worth giving up your life for at all. Period. I don't care how much it is. You know, but you talking about $200? That's not even gonna be enough money to carry you from month to month. Where you get where you going at? See, some point in time when we do these things, man, everybody gonna do stupid things throughout their life. You know what I'm saying? But some point in time when we do these things, we gotta sit down and add this shit up, right? Do this make any sense? I can get 200 or I can get a whole lot of time. If I already know I already did this before and this gonna be my second time, common sense tell me that I'm gonna be a repeat offender. So is $200 or repeat offender? Which one weigh more when you put it on the scale? That's why I tell y'all brothers, what y'all ain't from the hustling area, none of that. Y'all from the junkie era, man. Straight up, man. Straight the fuck up. It ain't no hustle era in none of this. Cause either way it go, when you go to the table and weigh it out, the odds don't. I mean, like, come on, man. It's too much risk and no profit. I sat back and I try to think. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna think about maybe this shit could have been like John Q or something like that. Maybe he needed that 200 for his baby medicine or something like that. So I'm thinking about it from that point of view. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it wasn't like that because if it was, the girl he stepped to, he could have stepped to her in that manner and she might be would have gave him the $200. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I hate it for anybody. And you're gonna get folk to say you call your names because you speak like this or call your names because you speak like that. But I just got to keep it real with you, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got to rob folk for $200, get you a fucking job, man. You know what I'm saying? Get you a job. That's that's what's wrong with a lot of the world today on our side of the town. When I say outside, I don't mean my city. I mean where we live at in this country, man. Robbing for $200, armed robbery for $200. Come on, man. Like I can be street with it and say like nah, forget that, forget that. Let's just talk logical, right? You risk your life for $200 when you could just went up in the bank and gave him a letter. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even got that much time, and you probably would have got a whole lot more money than that just off the humbug what they got in the register. You probably would have got a whole lot more money, you know, and a lot less time. And folk probably wouldn't have been making them videos about you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just something folk could do. We just walk up in the bank and give them a letter. And you try to force, it's somewhere or another you had to know forcing, forcing Lil J down there in the chat. Tony, I'm gonna force you on your cash app. Showing up, I'm gonna force you on your cash app to send me that damn money. You know what I'm saying? Or send it to my damn girl. Whenever I see you at this dog show, I'm gonna walk up on you and I'm put that thing up on you, send that thing to my girl. Some point or another, I gotta know that for one, we in the legal world. That's why folks say they don't worry about you robbing them for their credit cards or nothing. We in the legal world. So you want to talk about, oh, snitch this, snitch that, take it and kiss your ass with it. You know what I'm saying? Two, anytime you do something that's going, it's leading back to you electronically, and then you putting your old lady, because from what I'm reading, I didn't want to put his picture up there or anything like that, but from what I was reading, she may have not even know what was going on. Now she get money from just out the blue or whatever. He lucky they ain't sent it to me. I probably would have been there spent it already before they got to me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't know who sent it, but shit, he must be looking out for me, especially these days with all these Facebooks and Cash Apps and all that stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? But it's just crazy, man. It really ain't no joking matter at all. Brother lost his life. You know what I'm saying? Um, in my days, I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, big dog. In my days, I would have buttered that old girl up, man. And you know what I'm saying? Whatever she need, whatever she she gotta have it to make sure I'm straight. I fucked up. That was a $200 fuck up, but that's gonna cost me some thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta make sure that she good. I ain't gonna try to threaten her or nothing like that. What you need? Your car fixed? What you need? You might call it bribery, but I gotta take a chance. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I gotta take a chance. I ain't trying to hurt you. I promise I ain't trying to hurt you. But what you need something to go out. You want to go on vacation or something? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna cost you in the long run, but that's what stupidity costs you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's the difference between my days and these brothers nowadays. Y'all want to go shoot somebody's house up because they're going to testify on you because you made me on the cash app give you $200, and then turn around and try to call me a snitch. Oh, give me $200, and you got a 357 on me. Give me $200. I sent it to you. I ain't gonna lose my life about no $200. I sent it to you. But damn, you want me to play this street code thing for my legal $200 that I needed. So I mean, at the end of the day, I feel sympathy for the family, for the kids, because they don't know what's going on and losing a daddy and all that type of stuff in the situation, man. But I don't really feel sorry for him because you know what type of situation you putting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? You go out here, man. You know, we don't want nobody to get robbed. You know, but the walk up on a girl for $200 in my days, man, that's pussy shit. I think I'm far along in the video where I can speak a little bit. That's pussy shit. You got brothers walking around with strapped up out there with them blickies and all that, walking around on the strip. Take they $200. You know what I'm saying? You want to take something? Take like I said, I ain't condoning in nobody taking nothing from nobody. But I'm just saying, man. You know, brothers do crazy things out here and they get crazy results. Now, on with that, on with that, on with that. You know what I'm saying? Got Hunter of Kurt Dog, man. Hunter of Dog. Sorry about that, brother. Sorry about that. Hunter of Dog, man, in the building, man. What's going on? What's going on? Now, I do got some breaking news, like I said, from Gainesville, Florida, man. I haven't really got a whole lot of info on it, but I do got a video on it. I'm gonna let y'all check that out real quick.
Dogs are in the Alachua County Animal Shelter.
Hold up, man. Can y'all hear that, or was it sounding funny? It was static on my end. Tell me how it sound on your end.
And 15 dogs
Okay,
are in the
it's good
Alachua
now.
County Animal Shelter tonight after being rescued today during a raid.
Gainesville police raided 2 properties in an investigation into a dog fighting ring. TV 20's Alyssa Perry was at one of the homes during the bust today. Alyssa, what did neighbors tell you?
The neighbors I talked to say they were shocked and frustrated about what was going on, and some even said they were scared when they saw rifles and police.
Why do you just come and knock out somebody's window?
Gainesville police officers and Alachua County Animal Services were busy getting search warrants at a couple of homes. One located on Southwest 2nd Terrace, right near Depot Park, and another on Southeast 32nd Street, which is just off Southeast Hawthorne Road. Investigators believe the dogs are being used for dog fighting.
We had reason to believe that animals were being abused and or fought.
The director of Animal Services, Julie Johnson, says the investigation is still ongoing, but the priority was to get the dogs out.
We see that the animals are in deplorable living conditions. So the best outcome is to stay positive on it, knowing that we are going to get these animals help.
The neighbor who lives near that first property says they had no idea anything suspicious was happening.
Well, I'm in shock because I was sitting on the porch when they pulled up. We had a meeting which was supposed to start at 10 o'clock, but when they pulled up with the rifles and the big trucks and just really rude, didn't tell anybody who lives over here what was happening.
Faye Williams says the person who lives at the home wasn't there during the operation, but says the man's cousin was home. GPD investigators confirm no arrests have been made yet. Animal Services officials tell me that the dogs that were rescued are mixed breeds, and they also told me that they're hopeful they're going to be able to find a loving home now. Reporting live in Gainesville, Alyssa Perry, TV 20 News.
Well, that was kind of odd to hear that it was mixed breed at the end of the video, unless they consider the pit bulls mixed breed. But that's what, that just came up probably within the last, well, I guess Hunter of Dog Man said he covered that story yesterday. So I just seen it just not too long ago. Big Logic, what's going on with you? What's going on with you, man? Hurricane Kennels, hit me up, man. I lost your number, man. Hit me up, Hurricane Kennels, if you hear this video, man, or checking me out. I lost your number. I got some stuff I want to ask you. Now, I'm gonna speak about them Red Boy Jocko dogs. Like I said, in a few minutes, I want to speak about them Yellow John dogs, not the Grand Champion Yellow, but the Yellow John dogs. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about supplements and stuff and going natural and things like that for a few minutes. See where my brothers and sisters at down in that chat. You know, talk about supplements because a lot of brothers don't use them, and a lot of brothers go natural, and a lot of brothers use supplements. And I'm not talking about steroids. I'm talking about supplements and going natural. Now, my first question would be, what do brothers consider a supplement when it comes to supplements? What do we consider a supplement? Y'all hit that like button up out there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. What do you consider a supplement? You know, um, and in my opinion, Magnolia Kennels, what's going on? In my opinion, you know, a supplement will be anything that you add to the dog food outside of the normal dog food. And I could just try to keep this and speak about the actual powder form supplement, but in actuality, and just in my opinion, you know, a supplement will be anything that you add as far as it's not natural food and it's maybe some type of liquid that you bought from the store or some type of drops or some type of whatever it is, but it's outside of the food. So what we talking about now is for the brothers that use supplements. And if you're not going to use supplements, you know, uh, what's some of the natural foods that you can use to replace the supplements? You know, because this the thing, when you're working out a dog or you trying to condition a dog for any event that he may be using a lot of energy or something like that, you know, you it's like going in the gym. When you're going to lift weights and stuff, either you're gonna have to eat good and eat the right things, or you're gonna have to have something that you're using to replace that, which will be your supplements. Because if I just go to the gym and I don't eat nothing different, I just eat whatever kind of bull jiving diet I'm on, and I just go and I lift, I'm not gonna see no results. Especially if I'm not taking those supplements or no type of additives. So if I'm eating good and I'm going to the gym, I don't have to take the supplements because I'm eating. It's nothing that's going to replace the real food. A supplement is exactly what it is. Says a supplement or a replacement, a replacer. You know. So when I'm gonna use myself for example. If I'm using Vertex or if I'm using the Bully Max or the RF1 fuel, a lot of that stuff have creatine in it, proteins in it, eggs, your milk products. So you getting a lot of things when you use the supplement that you may not be able to just you can go to the store and buy it, but I'm gonna say it like this. It's like comparing treadmill to road work. And how we'll say road work don't kill them, but they just lazy. They can't do it. You can go out there and buy all that stuff. You just can't be lazy. You got to write your list down and know and research everything that your dog need and which uh, fruits or vegetables or food that your dog need. And if you do it like that, then you can make it work. But the thing is, if you go out there and try to get 100% out your dog, it's going to be hard to do that without doing one or the other. You're going to have the supplements, or you're going to have the eating right, or you won't be able to get 100%, or what you think is 100 is not really 100. You got to have one or the other, or you'll get 100% for one day, and the second day you'll get like 80 some percent. The third day you'll be getting about 70 some percent, and you'll be going further and further down because you're not putting anything in to replace all the energy that you're using and the muscles that you're breaking down. And that's what the supplements doing. The supplements is kind of the easy way. You have to use them right. You got to read the directions. That's hard for some brothers sometimes. You got to read the directions, but it's the easy way to put the nutrients in your dog when you're not real familiar with the natural food. Some brothers may say, "Oh, I could go use chicken. I know how to grab these certain greens. I go grab the beets and stuff for the blood." And you grab, brothers know how to find certain things. But to other brothers, it may be a little on the difficult side or a little bit too much. So I can just go get this, or they feel like they can go get the supplement and replace it. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the supplement is way different than your steroid. Your steroid is to amplify everything that you got there, but your supplement is to help build your dog up as you going in your situation or whatever you're going into. And like I said, there's no right and wrong way. A lot of brothers say, at least back in the days, they would say that some brothers use too much supplement. They may overheat their dogs and stuff like that. Um, and I'm gonna get to speaking about that as well too. You know, I'm gonna speak about that as well too. But when it comes to supplements, man, what's good stuff that brothers can replace some of this stuff with? Because I don't use it all. I don't like back in the days before Tom Garner split with the brother he was with. He was doing Peak Performance. Tom Garner was part of Peak Performance with the other guy. You know what I'm saying? This way before a lot of y'all brothers' time. You know what I'm saying? But when they split, he went to doing his own thing, and the other brother with with the Peak, he kept selling the Peak, and he eventually fell off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? You can't even find the Peak no more. But if I wasn't using the Peak Performance, I didn't try to go to the GNC store and just buy straight stuff that I would know a weightlifter or a track star would buy. I wouldn't even buy the weightlifting stuff. I would get the stuff that the track stars would buy. You know what I'm saying? I done went and bought the stuff for my dog straight from the Gamecock website, off the stuff that Gamecocks and stuff, different stuff used back in the days. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know, if you know the natural foods to give these dogs, because I can go buy a food that I feel like is high quality, you know, but it may not be as good because like you always read these foods say, oh, we got this chicken byproduct meal or something like that, and then it got a little bit of chicken gravy juice or something like that on it. You thinking it got actual meat in it? All it got in the mixture is some gravy juice that came off chicken meal. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even got no meat, just the juice, period. And them folk do it like that to make this, to sell their food, you know. And so a lot of times, man, to the brothers that do go all the way out natural, because one thing I found out, raw chicken had my dog looking real, real good. And this the thing about working a dog for the confirmation show and working a dog for back in the days when I was getting my feet dirty. You know, back in the days, I didn't like muscle. I don't want a muscular dog because muscular dogs burn out fast. I want a strong dog. A strong dog don't have to look muscular. He's strong, but he not built. If if it makes sense to you, he don't look like Lufarango. He look more like a brother that can go to the world's strongest man competition, but without the fat though. You know what I'm saying? More like your Tyson Fury or something like that. He can go the whole 15 rounds if necessary, but he ain't shaped like no supreme athlete. So I wasn't worried about all the muscles and stuff. I do my weight pulling, my weight training and stuff like that. You know, and it's like what I'm saying that to say this is it's a different workout. If I say, oh, I'll get my dog and I'm gonna work Fletcher for the next confirmation show. If I work him out exactly how I worked out Sambo and the rest of them dogs back in the days, then I'm gonna get a different kind of look than what I'm trying to achieve. You know what I'm saying? I need more bulkiness. I need more muscles at the same time. Leanness, we need leanness, but when I can I can slack back off of trying to work them for 2 hours, I can put that concentration on getting them looking leaner and more ripped. You know what I'm saying? And not worry about it burning out and getting them blowed out fast. You know what I'm saying? Because it's less pressure on that end. It's more pressure on trying to get them to look like Bruce Lee, that's a little bit taller than he is, with some ripped up muscles, 2 times ripped than he is. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man, when it come to the like Union County say, and like I'm speaking about now, when it come to them keeps, man, I always say every dog is different. What it takes to make my dog bulky, or what it takes to make my dog fit and looking like Bruce Lee, it ain't gonna take the same thing for yours. It might take something different. It might take different ingredients. Your dog food tolerance might be different than what my dog is. Certain ingredients might help my dog more than it would help your dog. My dog can see more results when she eat carrots and different things. Your dog see quicker results when he eat raw chicken and stuff. So every dog is different, man. We just have to experiment with them dogs and understand that no dog is the same. You know what I'm saying? And especially with them keeps and stuff like that. And like I said, when it come to natural and when it come to supplements, if I say I want to just strictly go off supplements right now and want to go natural, I know I can use chicken, whether it's raw or whether it's cooked. If it's cooked, everybody already know that take it off the bone if it's cooked already, you know. But I can use raw or I can use cooked chicken. All right. So other than chicken, we want eggs, raw or cooked eggs. But if you want to be 100% safe, you want them cooked. But dogs love raw eggs as well. They eat the shell and everything. So we know we got our chicken, we got our eggs, and we got our greens, collard greens, or mustard greens. And we want to keep the juice that the dogs that you cook the greens in. The juice is just that's where all your vitamins and stuff at. We could pour all that juice out after you done, especially if you didn't steam them too long. That's why they be like just steamed vegetables, not fully cooked, just steam. You know what I'm saying? So you still got the vitamins in the vegetables and some in the water as well. You know what I'm saying? And then I learned this from a bro. Um, Stuff like chicken hearts, and I'm naming this stuff out, and I need help from the brothers and sisters down in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Lil Rock, what's going on? What's going on with your big homie, big brother, big unc? You know, um, when I name some of this stuff out, I'm not necessarily saying what it's for, but some of this stuff, like when I say if we just go completely ball of supplements, what can we use to straight up on a daily basis? You know what I'm saying? We gotta have our greens. I heard some brothers ask about a fish diet. And I've not heard this from no dog men, but the little research I did said a total fish diet might not be completely healthy. A total fish diet, what I mean by that's your main base of food as far as your meat. But like I said, I know it's brothers out there that do it all the time and plan on doing it in the future. Just do your research on it, because that fish is funny when it come to that fish, when it come to mercury and different things and how much you could take of this kind. You might think fish is fish and just go grab any kind of fish and be one that's a little kind of dangerous for them. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man. I know, just for me feeding raw chicken, I feel like raw chicken give you that look. But if I use that raw chicken, what's gonna make sure my dog keep that energy, stay live? When I give that protein supplement, I may give it to him 30 minutes beforehand, a little milkshake, what I call a milkshake, and that's what they call the pre-workout. I'll give him that, and that's gonna have him juiced up. See, your B12, you gotta make sure you give your dog your B12 and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, and different things to make sure his blood count staying up to par and his energy level staying up to par and things like that. Because you don't want to, the harder you work these dogs, and I'm speaking for the brothers, that's working them for some type of hunting activity or something. The harder you work these dogs, you need to make sure you can replenish all the electrolytes they lose, all the muscles they tear down, all everything you got to replace all that stuff, or you won't get the same kind of working dog. You get a stale dog over the next couple of days. You know what I'm saying? So the common sense tell us chicken, eggs, and mustard greens. Give me some creativity from some of y'all brothers out there that do this type of stuff with the natural, and tell me what's the what ingredients to use, or what fruits or vegetables to use or meats to use, and just put down what it's for. It could be 2 words. You can be like mustards, and just whatever mustard green is good for. That way a brother who reading that, they'll know kind of what it's for. You know, me myself, like I said, I use supplements because the raw is a little time consuming to me. Um, I use a supplement. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, though. I'm gonna tell you the honest truth, and I can't give you all my secrets. Can't give them all my secrets, Little Rock. But I'm gonna tell you a little bit. I may use a little raw and supplements. You know what I'm saying? Um, it just how I feel that it's on the situation. And like I said, being that I know if I'm going to a confirmation show, I know it's nothing for me to lose. It's not okay if I have a bad keep or I have a bad look. All I'm gonna do is go out there and I'm not gonna place. I'm not gonna be in. I'm not even gonna make 4th place or 3rd place, whatever the lowest you can place. I'm not gonna place. You know what I'm saying? But back in the days when I was working at Keep, if I don't put my 100% in, then I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose my pride because I lost, and I'm gonna lose my money. So it's a little bit different on the pressure wise. You know what I'm saying? So you can really kind of take risks sometimes and experiment. You know, but I know one thing: whatever you start with, sometimes it's good. At least back in the days, I can't say that for the confirmation shows, but sometimes it's whatever you start with is good to stick that way out. 'Cause I made that mistake one time in the keep back in the days. I started with the dry dog food, and in the middle of my keep, I went raw. You know what I'm saying? Middle of my keep, I went raw. And that's a I feel like that's a big no-no. And some more things transpired as well. My dog wasn't on time. Anybody who knew what that means when I say my dog wasn't on time, we were sat for a certain time. So I gave all my injectables to know that we going in at this certain time. We ended up going in 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours later. So my timing on everything was off when it came to my injectables. So with that, and the raw dog food change diet, I had no choice but to take the L that day. You know what I'm saying? Superline, North Florida, what's going on with your big dog? Just talking about them supplements, man, and working natural. And like I said, there's no right and wrong. It's just whichever one you can manhandle the best. Whichever one you can handle the best, and you feel like your dog is getting the best benefits from. And just common sense. If you can do it natural, and you can do it to where you throwing the meat out right, and everything is perfect, and the dog don't get sick behind it, then that's gonna be your best route. It's nothing that's more healthier than natural food for anybody, for us and for a dog. And another thing, dogs ain't chickens. You know what I'm saying? No matter what they say, that dog food got corn in it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you gonna take a handful of chicken and go out there and throw it to your dog, you expect them to eat it? So why you expect for them to eat it if you process it? I feed my dog food with corn in it. So I'm saying that, and I'm saying that to all of us, not just y'all, but to myself as well. Why we feed dog food with corn in it? Why they even make fucking dog food with corn in it? A damn wolf known to eat meat. Why the hell they what where did it get corn? And why they even start making dog food with corn? That should have never been a base product. Corn and dogs, that don't mix. It should have never been introduced into dog food. I mean, if I'm feeding them raw right now, corn will never be in his diet. Or if I'm feeding them cooked food, you know, The corn probably never be in his diet. Yeah, like you say, sure enough, it's a cheap filler. It ain't gonna hurt our dog, and it may do a little tad bit for him. You know what I'm saying? It may do a tad bit for him, and it ain't gonna hurt him far as taking him out or nothing like that. Like you said, it's a cheap filler. It's about like the cheapest cut out there. Cold-blooded kennels, what's going on? What's going on? Yes, sir, man. Now, you got brothers who use the steroids in the keep. Now, I ain't gonna stay on that topic too long because we just talking about naturals and supplements. You know, now when it comes to steroids in a keep, you know, they need eventually. You heard it first. You heard it first. I ain't following up what somebody say. They're gonna have to start doing steroid testing when it comes to them shows to make sure you ain't on them drugs. The sport is a sport. A drug is a drug. If you gotta use it, you can't use it in this sport. Ain't no sport in America that is legal. So, I mean, if you want to be considered as a sport, I mean, it can't be legal. If I go on a treadmill race and I'm using steroids and your dog natural, that's not fair to your dog. If we go on a lure chase and your dog natural and I'm on steroids, that's not fair to your dog. Oh my goodness, little J. Forbid we jumping up a wall and your dog jumped 10 feet and he natural. My dog, man, he clearing 16, 17 feet. That motherfucker full of juice. That ain't fair, man. That's cheating, you know? And that's all steroids gonna do. It's gonna enhance, like my brother say, enhance what you already got. You got a jumper, he gonna make him jump extra, extra higher. So in a sport that's considered a sport, that everybody want to call a sport, steroids will be considered cheating. So eventually, one of these days, we're gonna have some steroid testing, but they don't want to spend enough money in the dog shows any damn way. Everybody want to take it in, but they ain't want to spend it out. When they get ready to start spending it out on the dog shows, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll have steroid testing and make sure these brothers come up in here ripped up. You work for that shit. You ain't shot no shot in them and put no rock in the back of his leg. Got them rocks busting out the back of his leg. You either gonna breathe for it, where you gonna get dogs that naturally look like that. They come out, it look like he been in an 8-week keep and he been on a chain all day. You gotta breathe for it then. Or you gonna work your ass for it. One way or another, you gonna get it by working for it. You either bred and work for it, or you gonna get out there and work for it. You ain't gonna shoot no shot into him, and 2 days later, you looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That ain't fair, man. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't fair back in the days. Brother just had too much ego. I always say, if you got a bulldog, you got a bulldog. You know what I'm saying? Back in them days, you know. And like I said, I never called it cheating back in the days. I took it how the game was. But right now, I'm just gonna speak on it. You know, can't do nothing about it right now. You know what I'm saying? Steroids is cheating. Any place we get, any conversation we having, no matter where we get at in America, we can go have dinner somewhere. And we get to talking about steroids too loud at the restaurant, people gonna start looking around at us. They're gonna start looking at us funny. What steroids? Listen, dog. That means you don't supposed to, your dog don't supposed to have it. I guarantee you won't let them people in AKC know that you keep winning them AKC shows and your dog on steroids. I guarantee you AKC will start a rule where they'll be testing for it. If they don't test everybody, they'll make sure you get tested. I guarantee you that on everything. If rumor get out that your dog on steroids, and if you even say admit, because we all know steroids ain't cheating as of right now, you know, but if you have the balls to admit it and you're in them AKC shows, I guarantee you your ass gonna get tossed out. They're gonna make the first rule off you. I guarantee you, somebody need to try it. It ain't gonna be me because I got dealings with AKC. But somebody who don't care about it, go ahead and try it and see how it go. But you got to win some shows, so you ain't gonna do it either. If you you got to put some work in to win shows. And if you put work in, you ain't gonna want to risk that, you know. But what reason why I say AKC, because they take a little more pride into their shows than what ADBA take into their shows. ADBA take pride in them, but it ain't the same kind of pride that AKC do. AKC spend money into their folk. They spend money into their people, you know. Now, you got brothers out there who got their first couple dogs, and they got somebody that they didn't may know they got steroids, and they want to shoot their dog up, and they ain't even got no supplements. They just gonna shoot them up and work them and all kind of stuff. You got people out there that ruin dogs, man. You know, ruin them. And like I said, my main thing is two main things I had back in my days. One was with them black dogs. I really had no beef with the Eli dogs. My whole beef with a black dog back in the days was because they get marked up too bad. They kept their marks on them too long. I go out there and do what I want to do, man. I can't walk them. I don't want to have a dog that I can't walk. I like to have a dog that I could take out and take places and stuff, right? So back in the days, if he was all scratched up a black dog, he'd be looking bad. So that was one of the main reasons, outside of, I wasn't a real big, Eli fan, but for the most part, it was the black color that held scars so long. You know what I'm saying? But that a black dog and steroids, I just didn't know how to use it. And I always, being that I didn't know how to use it, and I had a lot of success before I learned how to use it, I always kept in my mind that I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I know it worked good for brothers out there that use it the right way. I know they did a lot of good things in their eyes with them. You know, I'm just speaking from a brother who haven't used them. You know what I'm saying? And maybe brothers who thinking about using them, or whatever. Like I said, even when it comes to the confirmation shows, if you gotta use steroids, you don't got the dog that you think. You can breed for these genetics that you're looking for, and you can work these looks that you trying to achieve with your dog. That's why I said a little while ago on a few videos back, what look are you trying to achieve with your dog? Because Terrence Stoney get up there and he show a dog and it look A-OK, it's 100%. This dog look right. Big salute to you, Terrence. Your dog look right. But that look wouldn't look good on my dog. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Lil J, I hope I ain't say nothing because I didn't wasn't even paying attention what y'all was talking about, dog. I wasn't even paying attention, so I see you saying something about you need to shut up. I don't know what you're talking about, dog. So hopefully y'all got a conversation going on down in the chat that I ain't aware of. You know what I'm saying? But big salute to y'all brothers, man. And like I said, we just talking about now, Lil J, I'm gonna put your comment up when you say the weight pull you got to naturally. Hold on, let me see what you said. You said if you know it's downfall from the steroids, you're going the opposite of that. Yeah, see, that's the thing, man. I it's like playing poker. I never really learned how to play poker at all, and it's a game I just stayed away from. You know what I'm saying? And I don't right to this day I don't know how to play poker. I never learned how to play it. When I was running fast as I could run in the game, I never tried to learn how to play it. I just stayed away from it. And that's how I did with steroids when it came to dogs. I think a brother gave me one tube with some Winstraw one time. And like I said, I injected my dog and I ain't do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't getting no more of it. And I didn't have anything big time planned or nothing like that as well, you know. But I just stayed away from it, man. And like I said, I don't never knock what a brother know how to do. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, back in my days, we would never call that cheating when you came to the show with one. But I'm just giving my opinion as far as confirmation shows and stuff like that, man, and different things like that. I don't got nothing against brothers, who doing it. You do what you do. That's what you feel like you need. You know what I'm saying? But I'm doing me natural. And when I say natural, I mean I may use supplements, but it won't be no type of uh shots like that. Only shots I'm gonna be doing is B12, B1000. And if I'm mistaken, some brothers like to use it a little more often. I used to do it at least once a week, and if you're giving shots, it's in this system a whole lot faster. When you're giving pills, it gets there a whole lot slower. See, I used to go to the store sometime before when I'm really finding out where to order all this certain stuff from. And even when you find that out, we talking before all the social media times. I go to the store and I buy all the vitamins in the vitamin section. The stuff that we eat, the vitamin this or vitamin E or vitamin C or this for that or this for that. I'm going to buy all that stuff, you know, and it takes that stuff longer to get in your dog's system compared to the injection, you know. But that's all the stuff you need throughout your program, man. At least, you know, you'll keep whenever you're going into your confirmation or your wall climb or whatever you're going into, you know. Now, and when it come to weight pulling, big salute to my weight pulling brothers out there and brothers who master that, because everybody got a strong point when it come to their keep. Everybody know how to do a keep, but everybody, your entire keep, some areas you're a little more stronger than other areas. Where another brother, he might be weak in the area you strong at. You know what I'm saying? But when it come to weight pulling, you know, uh, I'm guessing, I'm just speaking right offhand, my weight pulling would be a little bit different. See, I'm a this type person I am. I'm a big fan of this when it comes to flirt polling. I'm a big believer that a flirt pole, that you don't need a treadmill, you know, of course some walking and stuff like that. But with a flirt pole, you don't need a lot of things. See, you can really rip your dog up with flirt pole, and that's what flirt polling is all about. It's your suicides of the dog game. When it comes to suicides, like basketball suicides, for those who play basketball, you know what I'm saying? Is you're running back and forth, short sprints, and it can get longer and it can get shorter. And see, well, not a lot, several wise asses that asked me why my flirt pole was so long. And see, this the thing. What you should have been asking me is why it's as big as it is. You see, my flirt pole is really not long enough for a certain situation. If I know I'm gonna be doing some real flirt polling, then I might want it a little longer. And this is the reason why. It helps me sit my skinny ass down without running back and forth. And the dog can get a real good long stretch out. You see, we talking about holding a little 6-foot pole. Then you talking about me running up and down this damn field, flirt poling this dog. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. We trying to work smart, not hard, and still don't get the results you trying to get. You know. So in my case, I would take a skinnier flirt pole than what I got already, a smaller PVC pipe, and make it go longer. And in that situation, I know I'm not gonna let him grab it because it's so long. I'm not gonna let him grab it. I let him grab the one that I use already that y'all seen already. And that way I could turn it into a spring pole. So if I got it longer, then I can sit there in one place and I can get him to running good sprints. And see, with flirt poling, you want him to sprint back and forth. You don't want him to get dizzy. A lot of great brothers said you want to do it in a figure 8 motion. But the thing is, you don't want to injure his back end or none of his joints or none of that type of stuff when you're doing the flirt pole. So use common sense when you're back and forth and making sure that the ground that you got him running on is level. Even when I use the grass sometimes, anybody can do it. It be holes in the grass, spots that we can't see. Dog twists his ankle just like we do. Hey, little J, but guess what, dog? You wouldn't believe how many people know their dog twist their ankle, know their dog hurt, and gonna push them and try to push them just as hard the next damn day. And may mess something else in the meantime. That's why I call ruining a dog. See, you can ruin a dog in all different kind of ways. It don't have to be just one kind of way. You can ruin a dog in many different ways. That's why I always say this, and many brothers gonna stand on this. And this was always was, and if they keep doing it, it's gonna always be. It can be a brother who losing with a dog in a box, right? And it'd be a brother who got common sense, who got knowledge of the breed, and he'd be like, he, he lost with that dog, but I'll take that dog because I know what I can do with that dog. I see a whole lot more potential that that dog could have brought to the table that that boy didn't know how to bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? It was plenty dog men like that back in the days, and that's why brothers, anybody who took somebody else cur or somebody else dog that lost or something like that back in the days, whether they said it or not, they felt like they can do something with that dog that that brother couldn't do with it. That's all it was to it. It didn't matter if there was a bigger kennel, smaller kennel that was getting a dog, a less known dog man, or what it was. He felt like he can do something with the dog that the next brother couldn't. Let me drop that link down in the chat for anybody that want to come up and speak about anything when it comes to these dogs. And like I said, we about to speak about that yellow giant stuff, get into them pedigrees. Let me get this link posted up real quick. Like I said, for anybody that want to do their dog talk for the day, appreciate everybody that's down in the chat, everybody that's listening, man. Y'all hit that like button up, subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, you know. And like I always say, man, I'm against dog fighting. You know what I'm saying? But and I do this news, but my thing is not to try to. I'm not doing this news to try to, like I said, rip brothers down. My thing is to do this news is to let brothers see the grass ain't green as you think it is on the other side. You know what I'm saying? You can make that decision on yourself. That's why I had to say about what I said about the tree huggers or whatever, because they have a different way of looking at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, I don't have no hate against none of these brothers. Everybody make wrong decisions in their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, you can make the wrong decision today. It don't mean you're a bad person. You just made a bad decision and make that a different decision in the future and move forward in the right way. So I don't hold the same kind of uh, animosity that the tree huggers hold against brothers that got these dogs. And like I said, the tree huggers can't distinguish between the brothers that's doing the positive and the brothers that's lying and doing other stuff. So they treat us all the same. you know. But my thing is, man, let these brothers hear the news. Keep it going. Try to promote the positive when brothers out here doing the positive, and just everybody voice their opinions when opinions needed or opinions necessary. You know, and for the most part, man, most brothers understand that. Even the brothers that I have had on the show that I've put across the news already throughout the country. I've had plenty brothers that tell me I done did they folk and different things like that, man. And like I said, I don't be knowing who be who. You know, I don't be knowing, man. And like I said, I don't have nothing against nobody. But nobody can't tell me right now today, no matter how many sympathetic brothers we want to have, or how many brothers we want to have that feel a certain kind of way or rock with me. You know what I'm saying? If I get out there and do something messed up, brothers gonna post my video. And they gon' it's see the thing about it, it's gonna be brothers that start their Facebook, YouTube channel off me getting in trouble. And see, I know that. And like I said, this the thing. A lot of these young brothers, they may have not, they may not have nothing to lose. I say this all the time. Whether brothers think I'm saying it for my health or whatever I'm saying it for. Once you get 40, 50, most likely if you was doing something throughout life, somehow or another you done accumulated some things. And I mean like family members, you got different people that depend on you, whether it make no difference what you gotta do. So to put whatever you got going on at risk for a dog reputation, sometimes it's not worth it. All the times it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, man, when it's certain things that happen in you throughout life that make you change. You know what I'm saying? Like myself, I was running neck first in the streets, but when I had my daughter, I knew I had to make things different. I had to do things different. I couldn't make the same asshole moves that I was making before that because I got a reason to be out here. I always had a reason. When I say a reason, I mean I got things that I need to be doing out here, really doing out here. And folk that's really, really depending on me. So I make moves differently. You know, and that's all it is. That's why I do my news like that, man. And just maybe if we doing the news and 1,000 people look at it and we get 100 people to decide they want to start doing positive things with their dog, then we did good. We all right. We ain't tripping. You know, I don't do follow-ups on cases all the time unless they major cases. I don't go try to pull these boys' cases up or what they pled guilty on or none of that type of stuff and all this and all that. Man, you know how much content I'll be having if I did all that type of stuff with every single case I did? Oh, let me do the follow up on these brothers in DC or these brothers. I don't do none of that. Only thing I do is what matters to the brothers and sisters out there with these dogs today. And the only thing that matters is what happens current time when they get jammed up with the dogs or anybody get jammed up with the dogs. Other than that, I don't got nothing to do with it. You know, I don't care. If you get caught with drugs, I'm only talking about it if it's talked about in the article. You know, I know I'm just uh, you know I don't want brothers to make to get the impression like I'm looking for anything bad to happen to anybody with a dog, because that's totally not the thing. You know, I just been through it already. Like I said, if you never walked in your backyard and seen all your chain spots empty, and like, damn, that shit touched your damn heart, then you can't really talk to me about this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I done did it, man. Walked in my damn backyard, and I'm like, I ain't did shit. I can see if I'd got caught up in some of my heydays, but this particular time I didn't do nothing. And I'm like, damn, just because I got caught up with some drugs. So I felt like that's something the brothers need to know, man. It'd be another 15 years before you understand that these drugs and these dogs keep giving you dog fighting. I'm the first channel that brought that to the table for anybody. And I brought my own experience to the table for anybody. But it's just the brothers that come here all laid up. They just start watching the videos over the past couple months. Oh, you talk about this person, you talk about that person. I done talked about my damn self too. You just damn catching up late as hell. You know what I'm saying? You know? And just, man, it just is what it is. But let's talk a little bit about these pedigrees real quick. Let's talk a little bit about these yellow dogs. And I'm gonna stop saying yellow dogs for the day. Because like my brother say, these yellow John dogs. You know what I'm saying? These yellow John dogs. And I'm gonna start with the saber dog, which is Big John mother and Little John's mother. And that's the line I'm running. The Big John mother and Little John mother. And I'm gonna start with Saber. The pedigree that we're looking at right now is Little John, you know. But the reason why I want to start with Saber is because I want you to look at this. I always say we got that yellow without having that matey in it. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I ain't even talking about that right now. You know, Saber is what you call Red Boy Jocko without the yellow in it at all. Straight yellow John. But you Red Boy Jocko, you know, straight yellow John. Not one yellow dog in that pedigree from the top to the bottom. Red Boy Jocko cross, no yellow. So when I go back to Little John off pedigree and I look at Little John's pedigree, which we're looking at right now, we already know his mother has no Grand Champion yellow in her at all. Now we would go to the top side, which is Walkamo's ace and Little John's father. We don't see no tense yellow. So Little John is a pure Red Boy Jocko without a bit of yellow in him. All right. So we don't get our yellow through Little John. We get our yellow. When I talk my yellow talk, I get my yellow through Big John, which is yellow son bred to this same female, which is Red Boy Jocko or Yellow John. And I think this dog, see, I always say you can't have a dog in your pedigree one time and call him a Eli dog, or a Jeep dog, or a Rascal dog. All right, now let's look at this dog pedigree, this Saber. Let's just look at her fourth generation. She got Red Boy in her fourth. She got Yellow John once, Yellow John twice, Yellow John 3 times, Yellow John 4 times in her fourth generation, and she got Yellow John 1 time in her third generation. I think that's equivalent to call a dog can be called a Yellow John dog with that much Yellow John in the fourth generation. You know, now anybody who knows Yellow John, that's your Red Boy side, and then we got the Jocko side. How many brothers got Jocko dogs without having it through? Big salute to my termite brothers out there. Big salute to my termite brothers. Jocko dogs, Red Boy Jocko dogs without having it through yellow. Not saying they don't exist. Just give me pedigrees so I can look them up. And like I said, we got 3 of the offspring in that little. We got in Little John, we got 3 dogs off of the Jocko litter, which is Jocko, Argo, and Pearl or Apples. So we got 3 dogs from that litter in that breeding. And then we got Chavis, Yellow John all through the breeding. Like one brother said before, man, I heard one of the brothers say, I can't say exactly who it was, so I don't want to call the wrong name. Yellow John is really the key. You know, Yellow John is the key. And the thing is, that goes back to Mr. Chavis, what I was saying about before. You know, uh, instead of Tank kind of, like I said, I don't know everybody's business. I don't know how it was going down back then or whatever. But somebody should have took, or somebody should have became, or kind of focused on the stuff that he was running. We have nobody really with that Yellow John stuff that's, or with the Chavis dogs outside of, and like I said, when you got the Chavis dogs, drop the pedigree and I'm gonna look them up. But for now, I can only speak for what I know. I know that Little John stuff is heavy Chavis. The Big John stuff is heavy Chavis dogs. And heavy Chavis, a lot of people only got Chavis in their dog through yellow. We're talking about Chavis in the dogs through all these other Chavis dogs. And like I said, drop the pedigree if you want me to check out a pedigree. Um, it don't necessarily have to be Red Boy Jocko. It can be another line. Just tell me what what it is, what I'm looking at. Yeah, man, that Grand Champion Rodney. I heard good things about that Rodney dog. Mr. Nichols say that snake dog is a relative to Jocko through the Mayfield stuff. And that's very, very possible, man. Very, very possible. And I'm gonna start, I'm gonna start doing like some of them brothers do in the new modern dog game, but I'm gonna do it with right to do it. I'm just gonna screw them all the way up. I got Mayfield dogs, man. I got Mayfield dogs. Forget the yellow John. I got Mayfield dogs. And I mean, you can't say I don't got them, but I mean, I did go back about 50 years, but it goes back to when you got a family of dogs that been line bred a specific way over a period of time, and you kept them families the way Mayfield was speaking to y'all a few videos back. You kept them families pure, or you kept them families line bred and inbred, and you kept them solid, and then you preserved it. I know damn well if y'all preserve that Bull Boy Bob and that Bolio stuff to get them black dogs and different things, I know damn well that Mayfield stuff, that Duke and that Lightning and all that stuff is present in our dogs if we line bred. I'm talking about them Big John and Little John dogs, the way they bred, line bred. You know. Now this the thing, and I'm speaking on if it's really bred this way. If I can find me a real termite dog, no discredit to no brother. I'm not looking for a termite. I'm just speaking. We talking. Matter of fact, to make sure everybody feelings is left in the par. I'm gonna go back in the days. Back in the days, if I got this same bloodline right here, and if I take me a termite dog, that's like a out, but a not a out. It's definitely not a out because of termite's daddy. You know, but it's a different family. And it's not even that far along in the family to really say, oh, it's a different family. It's like what? A first nephew or something like that, a cousin or something like that to the other dogs. So I mean, going to the termite is really not going out. So back in the days, if a brother know he had some official termite, he know that termite might bring a punch. And the Mayfield stuff gonna bring a punch. And then the red boy stuff gonna bring you go. And your punch, whatever punch gonna bring. Cause see that little reputation about red boy ain't got no punch. That just came. I guess that just came along somewhere or another. Somewhere when that 45-minute Eli shit came along. But I believe I'd rather have the 45. I believe I'd rather have the lack of punch than the 45-minute stopwatch. Rumor. But yeah, man, I just want to look at Saber, which is the foundation bitch of what I'm running. You know what I'm saying? Saber 2000 was my dog, but that's not Saber. This is the original Saber we looking at here. You know what I'm saying? Um, and like I said, uh, I want to say this, man, because I remember the dogs, but when I speak about Mr. Claude Puckett all the time, he was running a lot of these dogs that Mr. Chavis had, and I kind of want to have the feeling that he would have had a lot of dogs if he would have, when the Lord don't make no mistakes in what he do. So if he got sick or if he got, had Alzheimer's or however he did it, Lord don't make no mistakes. But if he would have had more time in with the dogs to reach the area where a lot of my other brothers, he could see like say the early 2000s. If he would have got to that area, then his name would have been on a whole lot more of them dogs, like how Chavis name is, like how Tant name is, specifically. You know, um, and the crazy part about it, man, it's like them boys had a secret and they kept it secret because you don't see the Jocko dog bred. This, if the word would have been out that Mayday was so great of a dog back then, because I remember when he was dog of the year in '96. If it would have been that he was Yellow was such a great producer at the time back then, they would have like a lot more brothers probably would have got more breeders in with Jocko himself with other lines, Bolio and Jocko, Jeep and Jocko. But I'm guessing as time went on and things happened fast and Jocko got out of place, he was nowhere to be found. But it's like brothers didn't focus on the Jocko dogs. And that's why I take pride in the line that I run, because the line that I'm running, the brothers took pride in the Jocko dogs. They got real heavy Jocko dogs in the place in the time where everybody else was getting uh the yellow dogs and your Eli dogs and stuff like that. They stay heavy with the Jocko. When we look at this pedigree right here, knowing that we don't got Grand Champion Yellow in there at all. But every single one of these dogs in this pedigree, not one, not two, but every single dog in this pedigree go back to either Red Boy or Jocko. Every single one of them. Now, when you can do that without having the same dog, you saying something. You know, And even I could take advice myself. If I want to say, oh, let me go back to say 1990, when them brothers was breeding these dogs, and let me see what kind of patterns they was doing with their breedings. I can go back and do that type of stuff right now. And see, this the thing. Salute to them brothers down in the chat, them sisters down in the chat. This is the thing. Do I want to make greatness, or do I want to keep a pedigree looking a certain kind of way? And that's the thing. A lot of us gotta come to the conclusion with what we trying to do. Are we trying to make that great dog? Or are we trying to keep it looking Big John and the whole pedigree? Or Big John and Mayday in the whole pedigree, or Big John and Jeep in the whole pedigree, or Eli in the whole pedigree. And you just gotta try to work things. Keep the bad genetics out your dogs. Bad genetics trickle down. They trickle down and they pop up when you don't want them to pop up. You know, um, it's like this right here, right? Let me ask you a question, my brothers and sisters down in the chat. If you can go back in the time, and you can breed, you can breed to a dog that's a grand champion, but the female, she ran, she curved out and she ran. She ain't cold. She started up already. She started up and she ran in 5 minutes. It don't take nothing to make her run. I mean, she was the punkish of the punkish, but the daddy was a grand champion. Or you can go vice versa. You can go to daddy as a cur, straight cur, no wins, curved out 5 minutes on his first show out. Or the mother is a grand champion, right? Now, how many people gonna take that risk, including myself? How many people gonna take that risk and say, oh, it's a chance that I'm gonna get dogs that come out like him? Thinking our chances on getting dogs like him is greater than our chances on getting dogs like the sorry dog. And see, this the thing. This is what a lot of old schoolers told me back in the days, right? Say you got one that he broke off and ran when times got hard. Times got hard. You got some dogs that they get frustrated after their first style back in the days. Their first style they come out with, if that don't work, they got frustrated and they quit. Some dogs will try two styles. They get frustrated, they quit. Some dogs will try everything and they still won't quit. You know, but the thing is, would you take that chance to breed bullshit to greatness, hoping you can get a great dog? Now you got a dog that seems great, and then when he get the big light shining on him, them big lights shining on him, that dog that you didn't want no genetics to pop out from is popping out now, and it popped out again at the wrong damn time. He looked good, he conditioned, he in shape, he don't look like the dogs that lost. He taking the color of the other dogs, he even act like them. But genetics, he got it in him, and because you know you decided you wanted to breed a certain way. Not saying it was wrong or not, but you wanted to breed a certain way. The bad side is showing up. And the bad side don't always show up at the beginning. Sometimes it shows up at the end. You know, sometimes it show up at the end, man. Fire drill, what's going on? What's going on? Big salute to everybody in the chat, man. Cinderoni Television, what's going on? Big salute to all the brothers in the building, man. Yes, sir. Now, just right offhand, when we always talk about Jeep, I'm gonna take this pad off the screen real quick. We always speak about Jeep, and like I said, let me throw this link in the chat. But and we always nowadays we got a bad habit of trying to match pedigrees with greatness. Oh, because Burning Star is a damn superstar, and his dog bred up off of stars so and so and stars so and so. I want to say, oh man, my dog got coming off the same background but it ain't off of Vernon dog. It's the same background. It's bred up like his. It's bred up like his. You know. So since we know, and how we know that shit don't work is because of Jeep and Charlie, because of all the other great dogs and their offspring, their little mate brothers and sisters. You know, you got the great litters that gonna be spoke about forever. That had the whole litter was dogs to be spoke about. But then you got the majority of the great dogs, they were the only ones. Now, let's talk about Jeep and Charlie real quick. We know Charlie wasn't bred out like Jeep was, but when it comes to production wise, how would a brother call that today, right now today? How would you try to come out your mouth, with that today? And not saying come out your mouth disrespectful wise, but I'm just talking anybody in general. Say I got a line bred Charlie dog. Would you say he a Jeep dog because of his famous brother? Or would you say he a Charlie dog? And or would you say he's a Charlie dog? Jeep, that's Charlie, Jeep little mate brother. He's coming off Charlie, Jeep little mate brother. Somewhere or another, you're gonna use Jeep name while you're talking about Charlie. But when you come to talk about Jeep, you'll never mention Charlie name. I'm just curious about how the Charlie dogs turned out, as far as how brothers, was getting them. And it really don't matter nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Really having Charlie in your pedigree today's time, I feel like it'll be almost like a trophy. You know what I'm saying? If you got a good dog and he got Charlie in it, and your dog is a good dog, I mean, in my opinion, like I said, my opinion may not matter, but I feel like that's a trophy dog to have in your pedigree because you don't see it in everybody dog. About like that JR Gainey dog or that Gainey's JR dog. You don't see them dogs in everybody pedigree. You know, them the rare gems, man. Them the rare gems. That's why I started the show off by saying the yellow giant without the yellow in it. Cause I'm always talking about the yellow, the yellow, the yellow. And then when they get to talking about the yellow, it's either Big John, Mayday, or some of yellow more famous sons. But in actuality, we could have just ran with the little giant stuff and had that red boy Jocko pure without even having no yellow in it at all and be competing against the yellow dogs. You know, if that would have been their goal at the start of the program, they had a goal in mind. So if that would have been their goal, they could have made a Little John dog and ran that whole line, that Little John stuff. Don't got no Grand Champion yellow in it at all, and trying to say, yo, we got the best Red Boy Jocko around, and don't got none of that yellow in it. So it shouldn't be hard for any brother to understand why I say back in my days I wasn't big on the Mayday dogs because we had yellow dogs without having the Mayday in it. You know, and the brothers that's a little bit older than me, they could tell you more about that yellow giant without the yellow in it. Brother Vernon Starr say he know a guy that has a few down off Charlie. They have a different look than Jeep. Yeah, man, that's a good pedigree to check out or dogs to check out. And another thing, we got to keep in mind if they not real tight line bred Charlie, then it can always take the look after another dog and still be genetically built like Charlie or acting like Charlie. You know, um, but he was a cow patch color dog, right? If I ain't mistaken. So if he was, that'll be some good traits that that your dog carrying down from the original dog. You wouldn't want to have unless he's got a lot of Eli in him or something, or a black Charlie dog. Say, oh, he's heavy Charlie and he's black. You know what I'm saying? You kind of want to carry them traits that he was running, at least far as color wise. And we all know that he come off a little of a solid buckskin dog, so it's gonna be he gonna throw solid dogs. He actually probably give you the best of all worlds. I'm not sure how he throwing Brenda wise, just breeding to something like himself, but he gonna give you solid white sometime maybe. He gonna give you cow patch colors. He gonna give you solid colors because he come off that type of stuff. Where a lot of dogs ain't gonna throw you them white, that heavy white. He gonna throw you a lot of white stuff. And I gotta say this again, man. Big salute to them brothers out there with them white dogs, man. Y'all really showed out and act up over the past couple years. And y'all boys been acting up, man. There been some damn good looking white dogs out there, man, when it come to them pit bulls. You know what I'm saying? Make these brothers think again when it come to breeding. Now, anybody who know that Big John stuff, you know that stuff got bred to an out a little while ago, several years back. That was that Paladin and Frisco cross. Now let me ask you a question, so we can get on point with our stuff here, and let's talk, a little bit. And like I said, I dropped a link for anybody that want to come up and talk them dogs. Now we know it's running that black in that stuff now, you know, through the Frisco and the Paladin. Now my question to y'all is, we know that that blue can come off of the 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 black deficiencies and things like that. Breeding in certain kind of ways. So if I bred a tight Big John dog that's coming down off that black poison stuff, and I'm keeping the black ones, and I'm getting a lot of black litters, and I just so happen to get a blue dog because of the inbreeding so tight, and you know how that black make the blue. Just so happen to get a blue dog. Damn good acting dog. Damn good acting dog. I show them to y'all on YouTube and everything. How many of y'all gonna hesitate to breed with my dog because he is a blue dog? Be honest with me, man. Let's be honest with me. Y'all gonna tell me he's a good looking dog, but you ain't gonna want to breed your dog with him because he's a blue dog? You know that it can come off the black, genetically wise. Lil Rock, you saying you will breed with me? You saying you will breed with me or you won't breed with me? Cause some of the boy gonna be like, man, that blue, I don't know, boy. And like I said, before I did my research, and I still got a lot more research to do. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, Lil Rock. Hey, knowing that line the way I know it, I'm gonna tell you right now. You pop up with a blue, something might not be right in the pudding. Now I'm gonna tell you about the black now. When it comes to that line, there was never black in that line, but we all know it was bred with the paladin stuff, and it was bred back into the red boy Jocko and the yellow stuff. All right. Now, if you look at any of them pedigrees, you know Vernon Star and Lil Rock, y'all know. If you look in the pedigrees, that stuff is way back, and it's all been bred back into the Big John stuff. But we all know a color black is the dominant color sometimes, and it can always trickle down. Now, I know some brothers had some great black dogs off that Big John stuff. I never thought it'd be a day where I'm saying like, okay, we know it ain't pure from the rooter to the tutor, but if you say at some period of time, because brothers get up here and we act like it be, uh, it's not reality that brothers really line bred these dogs for a long period of time. If you was thankful enough to get a great line of dogs line bred for that long period of time, then making it out when you get it, it ain't no big deal. It ain't nothing bad. Make your out, do what you gotta do, and start like they started in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Start your line up like however they started theirs up in the 80s with a goal, with a plan. No, hey, Legion Fear. Hopefully, now we talking big salute to Legion Fear 13 in the building. King Long Swipe, John Demery, what's going on? What's going on? No, we talking about, how you can get a blue off of some of that black stuff time to time. When you're bringing it tight and all that type of stuff. And I was saying, being that we done cross a black dog into that Big John stuff, and there's several brothers out there that got black dogs off that stuff, you know, is it ever a chance that a blue dog can pop down off of it? Being that the black being bred tight, if it's being bred tight, So now if a blue dog pop down off of it, and we all read it already that breeding that black certain kind of ways, you can get it. But as of right now, on record, the only ones we got that have made that is the Boudreaux stuff and the Bellins stuff, whatever that Bellins line of pit bulls is coming down off of, you know. And Mr. Floyd may be one of the only people that did his tight inbreeding and line breeding with that Eli stuff to make that happen. City Boy Kennels, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, Five Drill say once you go black, you can't go back. Hey, you ain't lying, Five Drill, because once you put that stuff into your dogs, you know, it spreads, dog. You might have 4 blacks and 2 buck skins, 1 red, and now the black ones looking good, so you want to keep the black ones. It ain't like the black ones ugly, they looking good. You know, so you right about that, man. Yeah, and see, this the thing about Blue. Big salute to King Lone Swipe for making that statement up what you said right there. This the thing about the Blue. It's so many different shades of that stuff, man. It's so many different shades of it when it comes to Blue. But like you said, King Lone Swipe, Trevor's Blue was more like a midnight, more like your midnight. And man, I'm telling you right now, I seen a dog like this back in the days, bro. I don't know if it was full-blooded pit bull, staff or what, but it was lanky. It was Bruce Lee style, and it was probably about 50 some pounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say 50 some pounds. But the coat on this dog was so dark, man, and blue. It wasn't black. This was blue for real blue, like the purple blue. But it was so dark and pretty, man. It wasn't like that light color silver or your light color blue, and you're almost getting into your silver color. It wasn't like that at all. It was closer to your black and, like you said, your midnight color. Man, I'm telling you right now, when you got a midnight color blue pit bull, that's a real, like a lean pit bull style pit bull, and it's midnight blue. Man, that's gonna be the beautifulest dog you ever. Watch when I tell you. I know 2 brothers that had dark midnight color pit bulls. One of them, I know he was maybe a staff or something. I don't know, but he wasn't no bully dog. But the other one, I don't know. It was an Arab brother that just walking through the city, and I seen him with it. I don't know what the dog was bred like, but he was athletic looking, and that Joker was one of the most beautifulest blue dogs I've ever seen to this day. Had the pit bull frame and all that, you know. But like I said, for the most part, until we find out a blue dog off of these game, the regular pit bulls that's producing blues, we're gonna keep that little bit of information in mind. All the dogs that we seen that came out blue didn't produce blue because they was a deficiency problem. I look this way, but my kids don't look this way. And like I said, if it's ever a brother or sister out there that got the blues that's producing blues, drop the peds, and we're not gonna knock you. We just want to look at the peds. We're not gonna say this or this ain't right or nothing like that. Unless it's coming down off the Big John stuff or Jeep, or one of them dogs like that. But at the end of the day, man, the more and more research we do on these dogs, the more and more new stuff we find out every day. But it ain't Merle. It ain't gonna be the Merle. You ain't gotta worry about finding that out. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about other stuff when it comes to the dogs. Everybody have we starting to say seal and silver is the same thing. And I would agree to an extent because I had done agreed already to that. When you see seal, look up seal. When you Google it, it's gonna show you a silver seal like that swims in the water. But I came up, seal was your brownish copper, like brown color, off reddish black color. You know, um, so when we say blue now and call it seal, they kind of confuse me a little bit. I'm more used to saying blue as in purple, blue, or silver. Mean the silver dog. When I say seal, I normally mean that brownish copper color, that dog that look kind of reddish color. Not even the black, not even a black dog, because you got black dogs. When you look at them in the sun, you can see red tint on their skin. Not them. They not sealed. They just black with that red sable, like I guess what you call it. Yeah. Big salute to Quarter Boy, man. Quarter Boy, the $4.99 donation to the channel, the $5 donation to the channel, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. The thing is, man, we were speaking about working these dogs with natural products, food, or supplements like your RF1 fuel, your Vertex, and stuff like that, or Bully Max or stuff like that. That's what we were speaking about. The thing is, your whole goal is to have your dog carburetors pumping, have the carburetors dripping water like a car. They say when a car dripping water out the tailpipe, folk like to say the engine good. You know, you want your dog dripping water. You don't want thick white saliva dripping from your dog mouth when he get hot. When he get hot and he start panting and stuff, you want water to drip down there. You know what I'm saying? When you getting foam, you're not getting good circulation. Your dog starting to get hot, or he been hot. So you always need them carburetors dripping, man. Need them carburetors dripping. And remember, if you're gonna go natural, you gotta replace everything. You know, even when I go work my dog hard on the treadmill, just like you going to the gym, your muscles sore now. They got you can eat the right foods that's gonna do what I'm talking about, or you can take the supplements that's gonna make it where my muscles are not as sore as they would normally be. Now I can go home and I can kind of stretch out and I can feel good without like, oh man, I'm sore, I'm sore, I'm sore. You know, supplements. And I see the thing is, you can start working out and be sore, right? Because you're just starting. And the supplement's gonna even help with that. Because normally you just taking nothing this natural, you're gonna be sore. And you're gonna really have to do research to figure out what's gonna make your muscles not sore and that type of stuff. And that's what the supplement doing, taking the lazy way out. Hopefully, these brothers making supplements that the dog that's doing the dogs good if you take it the right way, but it's taking the lazy way out. And like I said, I take it. You know, I gotta do all my research on doing a keep on that before I start it. I gotta have a whole list of all the foods I'm gonna need for each particular situation I'm gonna find myself into. When the dog gets stressed, you know what's good. You know, I'm gonna have to do all my research. You know, just straight up have a virtual keep in my head. Just think about what I'm gonna be doing over 8 weeks in 5 or 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and write stuff down. What I'm gonna need to bring this back up. The dog gonna need energy. The dog gonna need this, need that. You know, and then maybe I can have a good list, but I wouldn't start my keep natural until I got everything I need down. You know, and another way I would do it back in my days, I would take the Vertex, see what they got in them, see what they is good for, know what you need it for, and then just find a replacement, but in a natural food. So if they say they're using creatine or they're using this or they're using that, you know, you can find ways to find. Now I don't know about creatine, but you can find natural foods that's gonna do the same things that stuff gonna do. But of course, natural foods ain't gonna do it as fast as the protein's gonna do it. I mean, the supplements gonna do it. With them chicken and them greens and all that stuff, it's gonna have a dog healthy, and you got a great outcome coming. But in a week's time, them supplements got me starting to rip up already. You know what I'm saying? Those supplements got me starting to shape out, and I can see it. I can see it reacting the way the dog energetic and stuff like that. I'm giving him them greens and that chicken and stuff, but I may not see that his his energy level lift up that fast yet. You know, okay, brother Ken Lighton say creatine is president beef. So if that's a true statement, and knowing that, then if you trying to add some creatine into your program outside of anything else, then beef carries that. Yes, sir, man. One thing about a natural keep, let's just say I'm doing this for back in the days when I was doing my thing, and I'm going straight food products or either straight supplements. One thing about food products, and no matter what we say, when we add in them supplements, like I said before, they're replacements for a reason. They're replacements. They're not the real thing, right? All right. So my dog is gonna perform better if I got a great performing dog on that natural food. His body is gonna take all that stress better than his body would take it fill up with the supplements. Even though the supplements number crushed egg and dried and creatine and this and that, it's still gonna take better with the natural food. Say he get hot at 45 minutes. Same quality dog, he just got hot at 45 minutes. With the natural, if we both did the same keep, I did the same keep on both dogs, you know, and that one on natural, and everything is exactly the same. The opposition, the dog he going into, everything is the same. You know, the one on the natural food will get himself together better, just because just off the fact that it's natural. Big salute to brother Ken Lightning for the $10 donation to the channel, my brother. Yes, sir, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Street Rossi say, can those supplements bulk them up? Can the supplements bulk them up? I'm gonna answer both questions at one time, Street Rossi. Yeah, the supplements can bulk them up. You know what I'm saying? It'll bulk them up damn good. It'll shit you when you're doing your keep. Make your dog buck up and you got all the muscles and now your dog overheat. When it say if you're going hog hunting. See, if I'm taking a dog to hog hunt, I don't want him built a little RoboCop out there, a little built little sap sucker. I need him to have good long wind. If I'm going to chase after a hog, he need to have a lot of wind because that hog gonna fight him. That hog gonna make him run. He gonna chase after him. He gonna do it all. It may take him in deep water. He got to be in shape when he go out there hog hunting. You know, so they can definitely bulk them up. That's the thing. That's why I say have an eye for what you're looking for. Now, say if you're looking for a dog, say if I got a dog like a bully or a Rottweiler, that I can get, and this is me tell you about proteins now. Once you start giving them, your dog shrivel up. Your dog shrivel the hell up now. You stop giving them. You giving them proteins and you done got them bulky, and now you take it from them. You got to replace that. Because all the proteins is you was putting the right stuff there. So it's gonna be like you're gonna have to continuously give them good quality feed. You know, hey Vernon, you say the dog nanny don't smell as bad when you use a natural food like real chicken and real vegetables and stuff. That's what I'm thinking. You saying? Hey, Street Rossi, let me give you an example of what you just asked me. Sorry about that. You say can they buck them up too fast to where the joints can't handle it? Yeah, I mean, this the thing about it. If it's a young dog like that, an old dog it shouldn't affect like that. If it's a young dog, you got to watch what kind of supplements you're giving a young dog because you can mess his growth plates up to stunt his growth. And do your research on that behind what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, but you definitely can bulk them up. You know what I'm saying? And the one I did, with the proteins and stuff like that, or the supplements, it was a Eli, a dog off of Hickory. We had a son off Hickory that I told y'all about, bred it to a Mayday daughter, a daughter of like granddaughter of Mayday, and you know, gave that dog them supplements. I gave him the peak performance that I was telling y'all about. And it kind of had him kind of bulky and built at a young age. He was probably about 3 or 4, 5 months old, and he was looking stocky and built. And it kind of messed me up because I was like, now that I look back on it, I kind of shortened his height. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, one thing about it, man, any brother who can take the time up to do natural foods and go through the trouble to do natural foods, I'm quite sure it'll be worth the reward at the end of the day is gonna be worth it when it comes to your dogs. I'm quite sure if you get on a natural plan that it'll be cheaper than the dog food. It depends on how many dogs you got. Let's just speak from, we feeding one dog or 5 dogs. Say 5 dogs. Now, 5 dogs are making work a natural, program to where it may be cheaper than the dog food that I'm buying. Because I'm feeding 5 dogs, I may go through a bag a week or a bag or in a week and a half. So we say $50. Then if I take $50 and spend it on chicken and a little extras to go beside it, because we gotta look at it like this, right? When it comes to dog food, no matter what that dog food got in it, you ain't gotta have too much more than a piece of raw chicken to be healthier than any damn dog food they got. I don't give a damn what the kind of dog food they got out there. A lot of that stuff ain't got the real ingredients in it, right? We know that. So it ain't real carrot, it ain't real peas, it ain't real this, it ain't real that. So one piece of regular chicken is gonna damn near be better than that whole damn bag of dog food. Or bowl of dog food, rather. Sorry, a bowl of dog food. You know? But you're gonna need something other than chicken to make all your nutrients complete. You don't want to just give one thing because you start lacking on that. So when you step in that water, kind of make sure that you want to give your rice and your other things and whatever else you're gonna give them. Now I'm glad you mentioned that Pedialyte, King Long Swipe, because I think that's something brothers need to make sure keep a bottle of Pedialyte with you at all times. I'm talking about in your dog arsenal. You know how you keep your medicines and stuff like that? Keep a 12 pack of Pedialyte. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna go bad. And that shit is a saver, man. That's what helped me with Mellow Yellow when she couldn't drink for no she couldn't even get up like I told y'all. I had to carry her to the water bucket. She wasn't drinking the water. She was drinking 75% Pedialyte and 25% water. You know what I'm saying? Cause I mean I couldn't get that much Pedialyte to keep fill the buckets all the way up to the top. But I got enough, to say it was in there. And that Pedialyte helped, man. It helps. I'm not gonna lie. I'm talking about I was at the point where it was no Campbell soup. It was no none of that. She wasn't eating none of that stuff at all. And then when I do my research, I don't need that. It's saying I don't need to eat certain things because of the salt in this, or because of the sodium in this, or because of the certain things in that. You know. Now I will say this, Street Rossi. If you're using a supplement with them Pressa Canaries, they're gonna get real big. They're gonna be big. In actuality, if you want to probably add something like, say, if you feeding, you don't got no kind of show or nothing going on, but you just want to add a little teaspoon into your dog food every day or something like that. Mix with a little bit of water or something, or just add a little tea. You can add that stuff into your program because simple fact, the dog food ain't worth a damn anyway. We can go get Victor, we can go get this, we can go get that, but it never hurt to add a little bit of protein to it. So when you lacking on eggs or when you lacking on this other stuff, at the protein will make up for that. I mean, the supplement will make up for that. So You can always go buy a supplement just to feed year round. But when you feeding it year round, make sure you're not feeding the normal supply or normal ratio that you're supposed to feed in a workout program. Feed it just like you feeding it year round, a little dabs of it. He'll get the picture. His body will get the picture of what you're doing. Now, anybody out there ever did a total fish keep? Did a whole keep on fish and maybe some other things, but the meat product was the fish? And what do y'all think about feeding raw fish when it comes to the bones and stuff like that? I'm scared myself to feed my dog raw fish, but I know a wild dog can eat or gonna eat fish out the river, or a dog gonna eat fish out the river. So, but I'm just scared they get choked on the bones, man. But what you think about that? I know it's gonna be healthy for him. Know if it's the kind of fish he can eat. Now, when it comes to meats, like I said, I'm speaking from my opinion. I think chicken gonna be one of your best meats to eat, as far as a program or something like that, working program. Chicken gonna be one of your best meats, but I don't think beef will hurt. I just don't know how a whole keeper on beef or beef for your dog, healthy wise. Um, we all know pork. You ain't want to do pork like that. So say chicken, quail, and stuff like that. Maybe bird, different types of bird or something. Vernon Starr say he did a keep. His partner did a keep with the mackerel. Seemed like I heard something about that before, about the mackerel doing a keep with that. That'll be a. I would love to see a dog that was finished off a keep off the mackerel, just to see how it looked. And just to check everybody in the chat and just see what my brothers at down in the chat. All right, I just worked my dog and I need some energy. What can I go to the store right now to get my dog that is gonna bring all his juice back and he's gonna be back running on the chain in 15 minutes to make him feel back better? What can I go get to give my dog? We know we can feed chicken, we know we can feed all the other stuff, but what can I use as a post workout drink or food for my dog? Natural food. Hell, what's good for us? What's good for us? Post workout. Natural food I'm speaking on. Natural drink. It can be a juice or something. What's good that's naturally good, that's gonna give you that the electric lights like Gatorade or Pedialyte or something. I know watermelon. Watermelon will help you get some stuff. I'm not sure how healthy it is, but I know you can get some electric lights back in you. And I know that about watermelon straight firsthand. I was sick as a dog. Had the what you call it, coronavirus, and no appetite at all. Couldn't eat a dang on thing. Only thing I could eat was that watermelon, and that watermelon was bringing me back to life, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you, that watermelon was bringing me back to life. I said, boy, this look at here, pineapple. Six dogs say pineapples, and we talking about. I just burned my dog out. He tired now, and I want to give him a post workout drink or a post workout snack. Bananas. King Lone's White say bananas. Banana bread. Now, what about banana bread? When it come to bread, is bread gonna be a healthy thing to give dogs? And then King Long Swipe, we're not saying that we're gonna feed them that every day. So you may be right. We just saying it's a snack to juice them back up whenever he come off that meal for the day. Carrot juice. And another thing we got to keep in mind when it comes to these dogs. These little jokers get picky sometimes. When it come to that stuff that we wouldn't drink, like, see me, I don't like V8 juice. Because my grandma used to drink it way back in the days when I was little. All the time, the old school V8 juice in the little cans. So I never liked V8 juice. But and I remember one time I tried to feed my dog spinach. And he wouldn't eat that cooked or raw. It was raw, I think. He wouldn't eat that. So sometimes they get them smells and certain things they won't eat. Yeah, see, this the thing, man. I'm glad you said that, Street Rossi. This the thing when it come to that water. He say maybe out of it may be good to get the fish out of a pond or a river instead of the ocean when it comes to the dogs. Raw when it come to raw wise. Now this the thing. I'm not sure about that. That's a great statement for anybody to check out or whatever. Which fish are the best ones for the dog? The ones in the pond or the ones in the ocean? From the ones that the brothers be calling out, it seems like it's all saltwater stuff. When they say which fish are the healthiest, it sounds like all saltwater fish. It don't sound like the river fish that we get out the rivers. But I could be wrong, you know. Yeah, you would think that mercury would be higher in the ocean water, but you gotta think in the river or the pond, most part they gonna get a bass or a brim or something like that. One of them freshwater fish. But this is the thing I wanted to say too. Cause I kind of went through a situation like this before. When it comes to the ocean and rivers and stuff like that, we got to be careful sometimes. I don't know which one is better. Sometimes we have to be careful for microorganisms. You know what I'm saying? Small things you can't see that affects your dog's skin. You go back, he's back to scratching, or you have some type of infection or something like that. And say if you got a show going on, where a lot of things on the line or you really got a lot of work into it, you want to be careful, man. You want to be careful. Um, it can happen all too easy. Something just be some bacteria in the water and make your dog ill for a few days. Or just give them loose bowels or something. So you really have to be careful sometimes, man. And when it comes to that, what would y'all think would be the cleaner water to swim in? The river water or your salt water? We all know salt water heals wounds, but we ain't talking about drinking. We talking about swimming wise, training our dogs. Which one is gonna be your safest? Exclude the alligators. Exclude the alligators and sharks. We ain't talking about none of that. We just talking about water in general. The salt water is more cleaner, BBT said, in his opinion or her opinion. It seemed like the salt water will be more cleaner as well, but if we really start sitting down and thinking about that salt water, man, we don't know how clean that thing really is outside of it circulating. It's steady circulating though. It's a steady circulation to, keep going. But I will say now, seem like it be more bacterial, like bacterial problems in the river waters for the most part than they do in the ocean. Like when you see stuff on TV about somebody got sick or something, a lot of times they say, it be folk coming out the rivers. Okay, so you say at King Long Swipe, you say honey for honey to bring my dog back after a good workout. So say if I take honey and make a solution with honey and something else, right? I use honey and something else and make hey, cause hey Vernon, tell you the truth now, since he said that, that dye look like honey, don't it? With something else mixed to it. And you smell it, it may dye might be honey and milk mix. Honey and some type of sweet milk mix. Hunter of Dog Man said, that's only for the stagnant water that doesn't move, and the blue algae is what does it. All right. Yeah. That's why sometimes if you do your little swim tanks and stuff like that, that's a good way to do your little swimming program. That way you know you kind of got control movement over your water. And you still want to empty that out and put you some fresh water in there. You don't want to keep using the same water over and over and over and letting it sit. Now, when it comes to wild boar meat, nah, King Long's White. I'm gonna say nah, just because pork ain't. I love pork, but that much pork ain't good for nobody. We talk about everyday pork, and we talk about the main thing, pork, and wild hog at that. You know, I know a couple of brothers lost some good dogs because they fed them hog while they was overheating. They was overheated, and then they fed them. They turned around and they fed them some hog, and that joker died. I ain't gonna say the hog did it, but I'm just telling you the story. Yeah, King Long Swipe. That's worth a try, King Long Swipe, or anybody listening. Some good honey, some goat milk, and a little bit of water. Not too much water to make it syrup or make it unwatery. You want it just enough to spread the solution a little bit, to stretch it, a little bit of cut. So say I take a little bit of 100% watermelon juice, a little bit of honey, a little bit of goat milk, and make me a little solution, and then we talking about giving it to them after a workout to juice them back up. Now all I have to do is what I'm gonna give him to build his muscle repair up. All his the muscles he got to repair. What are we gonna do to give him to do that? Or what we gonna feed for that? Now I ain't never heard nothing about a hog hurting a dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't never heard nothing about no hog hurting no dog as far as eating wise. Too much hog, but I'm just talking about uh as far as how we eat hog and too much and getting too hot, eating too much hog when you're going to do a workout. It's like going to say you're going to a boxing match and then you're gonna work out on pork the whole time. And like I said, I love pork. I'm not one of them brothers that say I don't eat pork. I like pork, but I mean I know I can't eat it the whole time if I'm going to box somebody or if I'm going to try to get in a weightlifting competition where I'm out there flexing and all kind of stuff. So the pork, I feel like your pork can be your treats and your snacks and stuff. You can eat pork, but as far as making it based off of it, kind of be careful and make sure you know what you're doing. Hey, Fire Drill say, I never fed besides what they supposed to be eating with hard dog food. Most of these dudes in here, dogs eat what they eat. Big piece, leftovers and all. Hey, hey, I had a dog one time, man. I was working at the nursing home at the time, and I was bringing food home and stuff like that. Man, that dog ate every damn thing I ate, dog. I ain't gonna. Hey, and at this time I wasn't doing no research or nothing like that. And this was just a pet dog I had. It wasn't like something I, you know what I'm saying, like I went and bought this dog off what you call it, Craigslist and shit like that. I ain't care about no pedigree and none of that type of shit. But that Joker, man, that Joker ate everything I came home with. And when I went back and did research, man, some of that shit was deadly. I was giving that dog, man. That dog ate everything. When I say only thing he may have not ate was onions. I may not give him no onions, but when it comes to spaghetti sauce, it come to all other kind of stuff. What I'm talking about pasta, anything. Hey, and that dog was big, man. That dog was big. I ain't giving no chocolate. You know, I knew chocolate hurt dog. But for regular food, shoot, man, that dog was eating leftovers. Whatever was leftovers, I was fixing him a plate to throw in his bowl. Hey, King Long Swipe. I definitely understand King Long Swipe say he don't like pork because he considered unclean animal. Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. It's a lot of unclean fish out there. These brothers like, these sisters like out there. Sure is a whole bunch of unclean fish. And I tell you what, at the end of the day, man, spiritually, I believe everything that I eat is gonna be cleansed through one way, through the way. And if it's cleansed that way, long as you clean it on this earth, washing that motherfucker off and all that type of stuff, then I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? Um, Crabs, I mean, you put a dead body in the ocean and crabs gonna go jump all on it. You know what I'm saying? But one thing about pork, it make your blood pressure high, man. Outside of all the other stuff, it make your blood pressure high and things like that. So I can understand when any brother say they don't eat it. You know what I'm saying? Um, I had alligator before, Trevor. I had some alligator before. Only bad thing I wish I ain't had. I wish I had more of it. You know what I'm saying? Joint was pretty good. It kind of, the one I had, it tasted. It was fried, I want to say, or on a grill rather. But the one I had kind of tasted like, to me, in my opinion, it gave me that catfish taste mixed with a chicken taste. Hard to explain, but it had a fishy feel with a meaty feel. The part I ate, it was pretty good though. Like I said, it ain't smell like catfish or nothing, but just that the texture of the meat. You know how catfish meat different than the regular fish meat. Hey, New Select Book say he used Osa Buka, Asa Buka, whatever that is. I ain't sure what that is, big dog. Yeah, man, catfish bottom feeders. You can't pull that catfish for some of these brothers' mouth when you put a catfish on a plate. Talking about pull it, man, you be gonna have to fight that brother, man. Catfish bottom feeder for sure. Catfish, crabs, a lot of them oysters and all that they gonna connect to something on the bottom as well. They've been connected to a dead body out there. You know, we eat dolphin. Dolphin probably don't eat it, but we eat shark. We eat all kind of stuff like that. How about raccoon? My brothers in the South. Raccoon is a hellified dish. I'm gonna tell you now. You heard it first. You heard a lot of things first on this channel. You heard this right here first. If chitlins is a delicacy now, chitlins is a delicacy. It used to be a poor man dish. Chitlins is a delicacy now. Mark my word. Raccoon will be a delicacy. And not long from now, boy. You get a motherfucker that can cook some coon, man, and dice that thing up and hash it up and put them onions and stuff in that thing about like a deer, man. You wouldn't even know the difference. See, that's the only thing I don't like about Six Dog. That's the only thing I don't like about uh eating some of them fish out the river. Sometimes you still get have that river taste to it a little bit. You can still taste the river even after you fried and all that. The same way you taste the salt in the other fish. That's and I really didn't pay that no attention till I got real grown. But that's why I think I'm kind of weaning more towards saltwater fish now. But I like all fish. I love to catch me a bass. Beef neck beef neck bones. Now, beef neck bones. Would it be best to give that to your dog raw or cooked because of the bone? And is that bone too small for the dog? Maybe he get choke on it? Or you talking about beef neck bones for your damn self? 'Cause I love me some beef neck bones now. I love beef neck bones, pork neck bones, and if it make turkey neck bones, I eat turkey neck bones. My brother like turkey stuff. My brother do the turkey stuff, turkey bacon, turkey this. So I do all my shit pink. Hot dogs pink, bacon pink. Vernon Starr said he don't rock with that coon at all. Hey man, I like that coon. I ain't had it in a while, and I ain't gonna say if somebody got it cooking it, I'm gonna go look for a bag. But when I did have it, it was pretty good. I can see why people like it, and at the same time, I would never. I ain't gonna say I never, but I never ate a squirrel, and I can't. I just can't take it. I know brothers who down that and say it's you hook that up, it's gonna be that joint. See, that's what I was wondering, Legion Fury. I'm glad you made that point, brother. Appreciate that. Legion Fury say raw bones will break up when they bite it. That's why I was wondering about the fish. A raw fish is better for a dog to eat. A raw fish, just like raw chicken, than a cooked fish with the bones in it. The cooked fish bones liable to get stuck in his throat. When the raw fish bones is soft and he'll break them up differently. Hey, King Long Swipe, I know you ain't talking about no dang on raccoon as a trash panda. Man, you come over here to the South, man. I'm gonna have to find one of my brothers that cook that coon for you and let you taste some of that trash panda, man. That's good eating, dog. Yeah, that's how I feel, Fire Drill. I'll be scared with the bones regardless, man. I'm just, when it comes to feeding my dog, I'll be scared because it's, you give him a bone and he start choking on one of them little bones, not the part that he choking when he can't breathe, but he just choking when he keep digging at his throat all the time and gagging, making a little gagging noise. Man, that should be aggravating, man. Now, see, this where the brothers who do a lot of hunting. That's where y'all have an advantage at because y'all can get so much different. You can get hog and you can get deer and you can get bear and different things. And if you're a real a workout junkie, then you know what each one of them things is gonna be good for. 'Cause I hear bear meat is sweet. Some people say it's sweet. Some people say it's real fatty. So we take all these different things that you can hunt if you're a real avid hunter, and that stuff gonna be a whole lot healthier for your dog. Yeah, I'm like you, Vernon Star. My food gotta be cooked, man. I like my steaks well done. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, I like my steaks well done. I don't want no red in my shit. Salute to my brothers who like a medium rare and all that, But I like mine well done, fully cooked. It can be a little hard if you want it to be, but it gotta be well done. But they say the medium rare is healthy for you. Hey, I'm gonna get a brother from Alaska or a brother who do the Alaskan sled races, do an interview to give me some good explicit um conditioning stuff that they do up there to tell us some of the stories how they condition them dogs outside of the videos that we see on YouTube. You know, somebody that go through it firsthand. One of the brothers that could tell us about the fish that they feed their dogs, because them boys don't give a damn. They get their dog raw fish, and that shit look like a bunch of slop out there. Big thank you for the $5 donation to the channel again, Hunter of Dog Man. Yeah, man, and get these brothers to tell you why they food that they give they race dogs look like slop, but I bet you it's healthy as hell. Yeah, Legion Fury say, you know, when the bones break down and they do pass through the intestines, they help break clear some of that stuff that may be attached to the intestines through there. You know, and that's only thing that some of them old school remedies was when they say put that charcoal and all that stuff in, let your dog eat some of that stuff to kill worms. That's all that stuff was doing. Wasn't killing the dog, wasn't taking the dog out. So the dog lived long enough for that stuff to go through his stomach tract, and the stuff just scraped the dog's stomach, cleaned out whatever's in his stomach, and poisoned the worms if it was any in there. You know, it wasn't nothing for them to. That charcoal probably got some poison in it that worms can't take. Big shout out to Bruce Banner in the building. What's going on with you, Bruce? Hope you had a good day at work today, man. We were just talking about supplements and working out natural. And I gave a little dog fight situation from Gainesville, Florida at the beginning of the video. Um, I also asked for the brother Hurricane to hit me up. If you listen to the video, I wanted to holler at you about some things. Um, we talked a little bit about the Yellow John stuff, but basically, for the most part, Bruce Banner, I was asking brothers, what are the foods that I can use if I'm not going to use supplements? We know chicken, we know eggs, we know mustard greens or greens in general. You know, um, we know maybe some type of milk product, some type of creatine, or something that kind of help the dog muscles wise. But what's going to serve as if we don't use no creatine liquid, protein, what's gonna serve? The one brother say beef, creatine in the beef. But what else gonna serve for your creatine needs? Bruce Banner say yogurt and honey in the morning. Now, Street Rossi, down them boys down there talking about raw ostrich and stuff like that. Now, one thing I'm gonna say about that, I don't know nothing about it to speak on it, like the knock it right now. But I know it's a bird. It got a lot of meat on it. It just ain't in our area. You know, everybody got the animals for their area. Some people don't got raccoons the way we got them down here. You know, so an ostrich, wherever they exist at, for their area, there might be some good eating. I don't know. Oh yeah, you're right about that, Legion Fury. Legion Fury say cooked food does not have the nutrients that raw food does. And you're 100% right about that. That's why I said when you cook your vegetables, make sure you don't cook them all the way, steam them. But if you can work the raw gonna always be better than your cook. But your cook gonna be better than your dog food if you got good ingredients in your cooked food. I mean, your cooked chicken or your eggs and your vegetables or some rice and all that's cooked. That's gonna be healthier than your dog food. Ground beef. Glad you said that, Bruce Banner. I don't know how we forgot that. Ground beef. Ground beef or turkey. We could go back and forth. Use ground beef and turkey. So we won't get too much of one thing. And then we'll check and see what benefits ground beef or what benefits that ground beef give to a dog and turkey give to a dog. and then when you can apply that to your program as far as your replacement. No, I will say this too now. Chicken and turkey. Raw chicken. What about raw turkey? You know, turkey bones are harder than chicken bones. I guess that, you just don't give them the little small stuff, I guess. Turkey, deer, goat, and goat meat. Turkey gonna be easy to get. Deer, not so easy to get. You gotta know some hunters or some people like that. Goat meat, you ain't if you ain't no Jamaican or you ain't know somebody like that or somebody on a farm, then you ain't gonna find no goat meat really too much. Not in the store around here like that. You might can find it, but it ain't gonna be out there where you. I don't. I don't know. I don't know about the goat meat. Oh yeah, you gotta have your veggies. But the thing about it, what veggies? All I know when it comes to veggies is greens. I know some of them brown veggies is bad for the dog. You got a boatload of vegetables out there, squash and your greens, and you got peas and different like green peas. Green peas, if you Google it, I want to say, let me Google it right now before I say it. I want to say it's green beans is bad for dog. Now they say green beans. Well, they got green beans. They looking at the green beans that I'm talking about is string beans, what we call string beans. What I'm trying to talk about and I'm trying to speak about is sweet peas, the little round pellet looking beans, sweet peas. That's what I meant to say. I'm gonna see if sweet peas is healthy for your dog. All right, now I said sweet peas is not healthy for your dog, but it's green. They are toxic to your dog, but it's green. So everything will be green. Oh, my man put me on this one time. I'm gonna say this real quick. I'm glad I thought about it. It's some stuff you can buy from the store called super greens. It comes in a powder form and it may come in another form, but it's called super greens. It's all your super greens mixed up in one. It's basically like a V8 supplement or V8 powder or juice or whatever form it come in. And that'll give you a lot of your green, your healthy greens and stuff like that too, as well. So you can buy that out of the store. But I'm gonna say this. That might be considered a supplement because of the fact that it's got something in it outside of that green. They can say it's all natural, but it's something else in there. Some type of something that make it into the form that it's in. So that might be you might can call that a supplement, but it's super greens in the store. And I used to get stuff like kale and keef and feed my dog that stuff, them super greens. That's gonna be stronger than your mustard, collard greens and stuff like that. Your kale and stuff. Oh yeah, man. Them dogs love them collard greens. You ain't gonna never have a problem with that. Sometimes they eat them raw, but if you put some steam on them, they definitely gonna eat them. Yeah, the sweet peas, the chocolate. I want to say I don't know if it's toxic. I want to say tomato sauce not good for them. I used to feed cornflakes in my keep back in the days. I used to add a little small portion of bran cornflakes, bran flakes rather, not like the frosted flakes, which is sugar and stuff on it. Bran flakes. I used to add that a little handful of that in my bowl every time I fed. That was for my fiber and stuff. Bruce Banner said the chicken to bring the creatine in or carotene, carotene, chicken feet for carotene. That's something different. My homeboy be talking about them chicken feet and stuff like that. Chicken feet, chicken hearts, chicken liver, um, pretty much the whole chicken, except for the beak, probably. And to answer your question again, Street Rossi, about giving too much protein and say it getting too bulk up or getting too bulky, you know, and when you see that happen, you just gotta fall back off of it. You know what I'm saying? And lighten up from whatever you're doing, because it can happen to anybody. You know, you giving too much of something and just lighten up off of it. Now I'm gonna tell you a good dog. A good dog is well, you know, this don't make him a good dog, but I'm just give you my opinion real quick. A good dog is one you can feed raw and dry dog food at the same damn time. He won't cut, he won't slack back on the dry. Just because you putting that raw in there, he gonna eat both of them, both of them down. When you got one that'll do that, then you can take advantage of it because you can you can you can kind of freak the system out in your own little way. You know what I'm saying? Getting best of both worlds. But I also read this: your body have to accumulate to digesting the raw food compared to digesting the dog food. Yeah, that goat meat ain't gonna be cheap, street racing, when you talking about feeding it to some dogs. That like feed like my man say, that's like oxtail and all that other stuff. Shit. Hell with the dog. I gotta eat that. Hey, Legion Fury, let me ask you this. I'm glad you said that because I spoke about that earlier. When it comes to the dine will be a supplement, right? Or wrong? Because it's something we add into the dog food and it covers about two or three different things, four, five, six, seven different things. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So I consider that a supplement too. But that's an important supplement and it works. Yogurt is good for energy. Bruce Banner, you told me that. You telling me that right now. And my brother Trevor was telling me that when Meliella was going through her situation. When I needed them electric lights and get an appetite built back up and stuff like that. That yogurt, plain yogurt, no flavor, plain yogurt is good to bring all that stuff back and help her get her appetite back and get her electrolytes up and all that type of stuff. Get her energy back up to eat. Yeah, man. I appreciate everybody rocking with me tonight, man. And talking a little bit of dog talk, doing it how we do it on this good old Thursday, July the 17th. Half the month done gone. Now I was gonna talk about who producing the best between Blackjack and the Ramrod's Tramp dog. And we was gonna talk about that a little bit, but I jumped on one of my partners' show earlier, and they was talking about the blackjack stuff, so I kind of weeded away from that. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it on another. On we got a whole lot more other time to talk about it. I just wanted to show you that Yellow John stuff today. Yep, yogurt probiotics help the stomach and digestive health. That's a big key, man. How your stomach is when you go and doing all these events and stuff like that. You got a ripped up stomach. Your stomach ain't healthy. You ain't gonna be able to do too much exercising. You got a couple of typos, Street Rossi, but I'm gonna try to put it together. Can you give your dog meat that you will find on the bush meat trade? Do you mean like, man, listen here, man. This the thing. You know this your dog, right? So you want to make sure the best things go inside him, right? So if you know you feed him any meat, you want to make sure it ain't gonna be wormy, or it ain't gonna be nothing bad that he can eat or whatever. Pretty much any meat could be, he can eat any meat. I know people that if they know they hit a deer, they're gonna stop and pull over and get the deer. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody hit a bear and you know you clean bears and stuff like that before, you know what? You might as well stop and get them and clean them and eat them. So, when it comes to meat, as far as I know people that go to the meat plant and get the scraps and stuff that's left over and they bring the whole bucket and feed like that, you know. Um, but when it comes to a keep, you want to be specific. Everything you put in his body. You know, when I go to the meat market and just get a bunch of stuff for him to eat, I can't keep track of my weight. I can't keep track of everything if I'm just feeding him a fruit punch every day. Every day he gets something different. Day he got a little bit of neck bones. Next day he got a little bit of chicken. Next day he got a little bit of beef. It's all scraps and different parts of the animals and stuff now. But each one of that stuff gonna make him gain different pounds and weight throughout the keep. We gotta keep him on the same thing consistently. You know, bush meat tray. Hey, I didn't know what he was talking about. That's why I said I didn't know he was talking about like the meat market. Maybe when you go out there and get all the scraps and stuff left over and stuff like that. But if you a hunter, man, you pretty much can supply your own meat. You know, I don't know how if maybe if you kill a deer and you chopping them down from the head to the toe and you put them in the freezer. I'm quite sure that dog can eat off that for a nice, nice little while. But when you talking about supplying your dog that type of food every single day, all year long, 360 some days, then you just gotta have a lot of that kind of meat. I think deer, chicken, and maybe beef, ground beef and stuff like that will be more healthy in large amounts. When it comes to pork wise, I kind of weed away a little bit from it. That's just my opinion, like I said. I just only reason I weed away from it because it's tied into high blood pressure. So if it do me like that, I know it'll do my dog like that. Or a possibility to do my dog like that. Hey man, them oxtail, you ain't lying about that. Bernie, man, ain't enough meat on them oxtail, man. It's like you sucking all bone. They good, but dang, they should have cut that thing about two sizes bigger. Mark my word, though, Vernon Star. If 15, 20 years from now, you go in a restaurant and they say, "Mr. Star, would you like some try our new coon tonight?" Watch now, 20 years from now, that coon gonna be a delicacy, boy. They gonna be talking about, hey, you go right now, you gonna pay high dollar for some chitlins. And that was to give the man the food style food. Give him that shit. Nah, shit, you gonna pay high dollar for some chitlins. Oh yeah, man. You ain't lying about that. Fire drill says a dog out there that don't got no dog bowl. He eat off the ground and he ain't got no house. He sleep on a car and he a grand champion. Or was a grand champion because we speaking in past tense. You right about that, man. You right about that. I knew one. He wasn't no grand champion, but in the area, he was unstoppable at his era in his area. And I don't even remember him having a doghouse. I just remember him staying in the back of the projects, tied up to a pole in the back of the projects. He may have had a doghouse. I can't remember, but I remember seeing him behind one of the buildings. That bitch was bad. But in today's time, that'll never fly. Somebody'll be done call the man on you. The people come, project people gonna call the man on you. And you find out you got a dog back there, you going to jail. They make you move it. People gonna lose the house. Whoever house the name in, they gonna lose their house. So this is back in the days. Right now, you got a dog. They sleep under the car and he ain't got no food bowl eating off the ground. You got the wrong person to ride past and see that shit, and they call the police on you. In today's time, but I mean, you're supposed to have a bowl in the house for them, regardless, no matter what time of the damn 1950s. You should have a bowl in the damn house. Now, what y'all think about that? Back in the day, all that commercial dog food, Alpo and stuff like that. Can I do a keep on the Alpo? Maybe I should start doing that. Doing videos. Don't bite my style now, brothers. Don't bite my style now. If you do it, you got to put me in on it because I'm bringing this idea up first. I'm gonna take one dog and I'm gonna designate that dog to do different keeps on different dog foods. That's what I'm gonna do. As soon as I get rid of my puppies and get my puppies situated, you know, that's gonna be one thing I'm adding to my show. I'm gonna buy dog foods. I'm gonna have one dog, and he ain't gonna eat a different dog food all year long. But just say if I'm putting him in 3 or 4 shows throughout the year, he gonna be specifically for shows. And as I'm putting him in the show, I'm switching up the dog food, switching up the dog food, seeing which one the best, or which one give me the best results, or kind of like a dog food review. But I don't know about that apple, man. I'm not gonna tell you no lie. I may have fed that apple 1 or 2 times in my life. I may fed a bag of that Jim Dandy a couple times more than the apple. I probably went to Jim Dandy more than I went apple. But apple I probably got when I couldn't get nothing else and I had to get something just for them to eat right then. Then I got that. Now, when I was real young, I might be bought a bag of apple, you know. Only thing about that apple, that shit was just the highest that Uber Canuba and shit like that. So you better off going to get the other dog grade of dog food, the off brand, or the brand that they don't advertise on TV. Yeah, man. After I fed raw too, I like how my dog look. It's just I can't keep up with it with so many dogs. You know what I'm saying? But if I got like one dog, I'll probably do raw. Two dogs, raw. Yeah, man. I appreciate all y'all rocking with the bay tonight, man. I hope everybody had a great day at work. Ready to start that day up tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal out there, Banner. Brother Vernon Star, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with me tonight. Stay ready. What's going on? What's going on? Talk a little bit about them Yellow John dogs tonight. Any dog y'all want me to talk about or discuss or talk about the pedigrees and stuff, just let me know, man. Hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Just hit me up. Let me know on the back streets or what it is, and we'll get on to it. I appreciate you tonight, Fire Drill, man. Appreciate you tonight, Legion Fury, Mr. 216, Big Logic, all y'all brothers, man. Everybody that rock with me tonight. Trevor, Hunter of Dog Men, everybody that rock with me tonight. I appreciate everybody, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal. PBK9s, and I'm out.